What up, Gotchi gang? Hey fam, GM, come on up, say hi. What's up, Hefe?
How's it going?
Oh, pretty good. How about you, man?
Pretty good, pretty good. Yesterday was a long day of channeling, getting all trying to get into a schedule of doing that. So it's been a good week. It's been a lot of alchemy collecting this week, and I've been strategizing. Everybody's upgrading their altars right now. But I'm kind of planning ahead right now for the harvesters and the reservoirs, when they release. So that's what I've been working on this week. But I know you guys have been shipping like crazy, like so many different UI improvements this week.
Yeah, yeah. We launched on 18th, basically a minute of the game. I'm gonna first get my Discord a little bit laggy. One sec. Can you guys hear me okay?
You're breaking up a good bit.
Yeah, you're breaking up a little bit.
Might be a bad VPN day. Let's see. Yeah, you guys keep going for a sec. I'll jump back in when I got better internet again.
All right.
All right.
Yeah, Hefe. So you said you're not leveling up your altar yet. You're just saving for harvesters.
Yeah, I'm gonna be saving up for harvesters. I haven't upgraded any of my altars actually, surprisingly. But I've been helping doing some guild channelings for like the 8-Bit Gamers Guild. I've been hanging out with their scholars actually, and just making sure I channel all my gotchis every day, and that seems to be a decent amount of alchemica I'm collecting still. So I have 14 parcels that I'm maintaining right now.
Oh wow, yeah. Between
What
that and running the scholarships, you must be busy.
Well, I'm not running the scholarships directly actually. There's like some members in the guild running the actual scholarships. They're doing a lot of the heavy lifting with that. I get to hang out with the scholars and then plan kind of help Master Yin and Yang plan out how they're going to move forward strategically with all their land and gotchis that they have now. So
Nice.
I hope they come in here. I hope they show up to the meeting because it'd be nice to have them up here and get their take on how it's been going from their end of it, managing like such a large amount of assets. I
Yeah, I saw
see
your
I
stream
see
the other
White
night.
Ranger. Oh, sorry, I was just gonna say I see White Ranger in the audience. Maybe we can get him up here too.
Hello,
I know
hello.
he.
Good morning. Good morning.
Good
GM.
morning. Good morning, friend.
Been a crazy week, guys.
Oh, I bet it's been a crazy week for you too. I mean, you manage like a decent amount of scholars, don't you?
Well, for me, it was the lands this round. I have over 30, and I've gotten half of them to level 3 altars, so that's a 12-hour cooldown. Um, and I only have about 10 gotchis, so I was kind of like doing everything I could to get some unchanneled gotchis so we could get the alchemica. Because if you don't hit that channel for the gotchi, that's just wasted alchemica. So it's kind of been a negotiation with other gotchi holders to be like, hey, let's do what we got to do to make sure they don't go unchanneled. Because at that point, it's just zero profit for everyone.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. It's like it's an opportunity cost thing. No future talks about it all the time. How there's an opportunity cost with not doing that, and so maybe there's an opportunity cost associated with like not upgrading your altar too. Maybe I am, missing out on a little bit. But I just like you, as long as I'm channeling all the gotchis every day, I feel like I'm not really wasting any alchemica. You know what I mean? Are you still managing scholars? Because I know you were doing that for a while too.
Yeah, I still have my guild, and I have a few people that like to play. I mean, obviously, I'm sure everyone experienced a little bit of this. The huge drop off when the play drop stopped, and then I guess I gotta talk quieter. Hold on, I can even turn my. Let me know if that's better. I kind of talk loud in general.
Yeah, it's good. I just had you adjusted on my server, on my Discord.
I think you can come up a little bit. You went a little low.
Oh, a little too low.
Yeah.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, that's much better.
Yeah.
So yeah, I had the huge drop off like everyone experienced when the play drop stopped, and then as these altars come online and we start channeling more, there's more drops for people to pick up. So I've noticed a couple of them come back, and then I'm able to handle most of the channeling for my rentable gotchis. But if there is an opportunity to where I'm AFK for a longer period of time, I'm going to kind of rotate them in to handle the channeling as much as they can, because I have limited gotchis. So until we get that next.
So how many of your own gotchis are you doing? Are you
I'm doing all of my own, and then I'm working with guilds that aren't taking advantage of gotchi channeling, and so there's a split with those.
Yeah, see, I think a lot of those deals are going on right now, and it's pretty cool. I think there's still plenty of gotchis available every day that go on channel too. So there has to be someone going out there doing that kind of like an arbitrage, with that.
If there's a gotchi out there going unchanneled, you're gonna hear from me for sure.
I'm sure there's a lot of them.
Yeah, any bag holders that want to DM me and get their gotchis channeling, let me know, because I'm only going to keep upgrading and shortening that cooldown time. So it's an exponential need for gotchis at this moment. Also, with the higher level altars, you're going to get a higher percentage when I channel versus just level ones.
What level are your altars at the moment?
Right now, I've got 9 level 3s. The rest are level 2s. I'm going to do about another 9 level 3s, and then start going to level 4s for the spacious.
Nice. Yeah, that's going to be really cool. So, I mean, that took like a decent amount of alchemica to get to that point. Are you like, what's your strategy moving forward with like building harvesters out? Do you think you're just going to be going to market and picking up alchemica to make that happen, or are you actually putting alchemica aside right now for that?
So here's the logic, and I don't like to reflect on how much alchemica I spent, and I haven't done the math and don't want to. But I feel like there's a snowball effect. So the higher level altars, the more channeling, that's going to increase my daily rates. And so once that snowball effect gets going, I can roll that into harvesters and everything else. And if I'm pulling, an insane high amount of daily alchemica, then I can just roll those into new. It's just a snowball effect. It just gets bigger and bigger.
Yeah, Hefe, you said that you aren't upgrading your altars yet, right? Hefe?
What was that, sorry?
You say you aren't upgrading your altars yet, right?
Yeah, I haven't been upgrading my altars yet, no.
Like harvester level is going to depend on the altar level, right? Like you won't be able to upgrade your harvesters to level 2 until your altars are level 2, for example.
Yeah, I mean, my plan is to go with a lot of the low-level harvesters and just get as many of those going as possible at the start. Yeah, I guess I will have to upgrade my altars. There's like no avoiding it,
Yeah, like
especially if I'm going to be upgrading everything.
what I was basically implying is that if you're going to be upgrading your altars eventually, then you almost might as well do it now and start getting the advantage out of the higher amount of alchemic going straight to your wallet rather than waiting and then I mean I guess it depends on how much alchemic you're going to need to make all your harvesters, but if you already have enough and you're going to upgrade your altars anyways, you might as well do it now.
That is a good point. There is that's something to consider. I mean, another thing that I'm doing right now is I'm trying to mint as many of the golden tiles as I can right now. So see, that's another thing that I'm sinking Alchemica into. So I had to kind of decide initially when this all started, am I going to be upgrading these altars or do I want to just collect as many of these tiles as I can? And maybe there's like a mixed strategy in there. I'm not sure.
I would highly recommend at least going to level 2 so that you can have that like 4-hour buffer. Because, if you stay up till 11 o'clock at night and then channel your altars, that's going to push you to midnight. And so the next day you're going to have to stay up till midnight, and that's going to push you till like 12:30. And you're in this like perpetual staying up late cycle. But if you at least do the level 2s, that gives you 18-hour cooldown. So that if you hit it at 11 o'clock one night, you can come in at 10 o'clock or, your same time the day before. And that I would highly recommend and helps a ton.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I like that. That's not something I put a lot of thought into, so that makes a lot of sense. I would do that. It makes sense to spend that much alchemica just to get to level 2, get that little buffer, and I think your spillover goes down a tiny bit too. So yeah, it definitely makes sense.
Yeah, it goes from 50 to 45.
Right on. And so I assume for the most part, most people have been aggressively trying to upgrade their altars, right? I think that seems to be like the main kind of
I
strategy.
did a
right
mixed
now, the
strategy.
meta.
I upgraded to level 2s and I've been gathering golden tiles. So
So you're kind of doing something similar to I, except I should probably, like everyone's kind of saying here, maybe I should look at upgrading some of my altars at least.
Do we know the last day for the golden tiles? It's soon, right?
Should be Wednesday. I think everyone is 2 weeks unless they push this one back because there was a delay to start it. But it should be Wednesday.
You guys, am I any better now? Or still robotic?
You're still
you're still
robot-y, but I
pretty
think it's slightly less robot-y, but I think it's still robot-y.
All right.
Somebody flag Coder Dan as a bot.
I got one bot on Discord, so I don't know.
You're going to need to link your Discord, sir.
Are we in the Gotchiverse right now? Are you guys in there?
Always.
yeah, I'm just running around. I'm in 1C right now.
I will say I think time moves faster in the Gotchiverse. For whatever reason, weeks feel like years.
Yeah, I feel like in the crypto space overall, time moves a lot faster with just how much how much is actually going on a daily basis. Like there's always either some catastrophic event or there's like some hilarious meme going around, but there's always something and time just goes by super quick. But I feel like you said in the Gotchiverse, it's like kicked up to another level. It's just I think it's because it's more engaging too. You just don't like get up, you're just there doing your thing, collecting Alchemica. Before you know it, it's like midnight. So yeah, I've definitely lost some sleep over it, but you know, not too bad. But yeah, definitely hear you on that.
Yeah, I like to try to put some emphasis on like, you know, when you're talking about like making a video game and the gameplay, and most people think of like plugging up an Xbox and hooking up a controller. And it's like with this, like the gameplay for me is, going on Adventure IO and seeing like when the next cooldowns are, doing all the math, timing everything up, and then just like, like that kind of matrix aspect of it of just looking at data on a screen. Like that's the gameplay for me. Versus just like, Call of Duty or something like that.
Yeah, I mean that's something I've been thinking about this week is what is the style of gameplay that we're doing here? It's very strategic, right? It's like you said, you're doing a lot of strategy and planning before you carry out your whatever your plan is. Whereas with other games, it's more like in the moment. You're and we're gonna get that too. I think that's when we're gonna get a lot more mainstream attention from maybe non-crypto people is when they're not having to calculate yields or anything. They just know the Gotchiverse is this place where you don't have to own any land or anything. You rent a character, you run around, you collect this alchemica, and then maybe you go to an arcade, you play some games, right? And then there's a social aspect. I feel like at that point, it's like, all right, well, we have like the builders of the Gotchiverse who are like doing what you're doing there, really putting a lot of thought into how you're building your parcels and all that. And then there is like the enjoyers, like it could be a meme, but it's like just people coming into the Gotchiverse because they know somewhere where you can pick up tokens and just play games. Like I think that's what it's going to come down to eventually.
Yeah, it's like a mix of like Clash of Clans and pick your favorite MMORPG.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be exciting. Eventually, hopefully, we get multiple like pixel crafts within the Gotchiverse that are building their own experiences in their area, whatever parcels they're on or wherever they're located. They might be building out experiences, and it could be like a metaverse, maybe inside of a metaverse. It's like a microverse. I think someone had said before, where you have like another game within Aavegotchi. I think that's going to be really cool when we see that.
That brings up something I was wondering about with the decorations coming out in that ticket raffle. Are those going to have collision detection, or is it going to be more of like the decorative tiles?
Yeah, I was wondering that same thing.
Robot Dan?
Can you guys hear me better now? Or
Yeah, you
still
sound
the same?
great.
Good now.
Yeah,
Okay,
it's
cool.
better.
Yeah, I think they're gonna have collisions, but they're not gonna be like a full square collision probably. Like I think you'll be able to walk, but if you have like two of them next to each other, I think you can walk past them. Because we're not gonna have any installations with like full collisions that would act as walls, because that would defeat the purpose of a wall.
That makes sense. Thank you.
Is there going to be room for these things on humble parcels?
Yeah, I mean they're one by one. They're super small.
Okay.
So if you have extra space on your humble, you can definitely drop one down.
I was just curious about like the possibility of using decorations to make mini games on your parcels.
Right, right.
Like a maze or something?
You could do a maze, you could do like speed boosts and like have little races, cannons that would like shoot gotchis from one place to another. I mean, there's different, I think like Fall Guys or whatever. There's some different games like that.
Oh, that would be really cool to have like Fall Guys elements in Aavegotchi, like interactive structures You know, I think it actually plays into what we were saying before, how the land decorations aren't necessarily going to increase your yield on your parcels, but they can do fun things like that. Like I feel like that would be a really good use case.
Yeah, I think the Blancos is a game that's kind of set up like that. Not sure if you guys have heard of that.
I'm
Yeah,
not
yeah.
familiar with
Blankos.
Blancos.
Definitely heard of it.
My other one was any updates on the glitter. I saw some screenshots of where it was used, and I seemed like you guys had some contract hurdles to get through.
Yeah, I think it's the UI. I think it's ready. There was I haven't personally tested it yet, but the contract is it's written. I think there was someone was saying there was an issue with one of the functions reverting with too much glitter being used. So yeah, we're gonna be. I don't. We were trying to get it out by Friday, but the upgrade deployment kind of delayed it by a little bit because we wanted to get that one out first, so people wouldn't be paying one Matic for an upgrade or for equipping their installation.
Yeah, so what's the difference going to be like? How much is equipping or upgrading cost now? Is it like similar to petting or
Yeah, I
is it
tried it.
still?
I think it's working now. You should be able to equip up something onto your parcel now. I tried it the other day, and it was about 350,000 gas, which is much better than what it was before. It was like, I think it was like some people were paying like 10 million gas, I think, for a transaction, which there was a lot of writing happening in the contract before this optimization upgrade that we pushed. So that should be a lot lower now.
That's good.
But the downside is not really a downside, but it's the trade-off is that upgrades won't automatically confirm anymore.
The-
Although
it-
like I mentioned in the announcement, there could be a service that someone runs where they could like you could pay them to confirm your upgrades on
so
chain for you.
is it two different like gas transactions now?
Yeah, so well, it always has been. It's been so you'll create the upgrade, but like start the upgrade, and then once it finishes, you'll click the finalize upgrade button on the UI, and that will confirm it for you.
Okay. So
That
wait,
should be working now.
I mean, I just haven't done it because I only have like two parcels. So, um, but can anyone complete it, or does
Yeah.
does someone have to set the settings for someone else to complete it, or is it just automatic
If-
that anyone can do it?
So as long as they have the ID of the upgrade, which they can get on chain, they can confirm anyone's upgrade once it's fine. Like once it's past the upgrade threshold in terms of blocks, anyone can finalize it for anyone.
Tommy Gotchi just said finalize. The filters are not working. I think he says are working. You guys said you were working on that. I think.
So is there something that's like confirmed broken?
I'm not sure about confirmed broken, but I saw a couple people saying that they were having issues with their alters upgrading and not working. But I'm not sure. You guys might have figured that out by now.
Yeah, I haven't changed anything from yesterday. Today I've been looking at writing some new queries for bots to do some anti-botting stuff. And we've been updating some info that we have internally to help have more information about all the players online and like, IP addresses and what providers they have and stuff. So we'll have a much better picture of who's in the Gotchiverse.
That's good. Like we were discussing it a bit, and I'm super excited about some of the ideas, and I think there's a lot of tools that can be implemented to detect bots.
Yeah.
We have a question in the chat regarding the decorations. Can they be unequipped from the land, kind of like a wearable?
Let me check what I think. We were going back and forth on that. I think they're technically installations, and installations are pretty much they can't be unequipped once they're equipped. So I think currently the way I was thinking about it was they would not be able to be unequipped.
I
'Cause
feel
they're
like
prob-
it's a I, f- I feel like it's a tradable item. I mean, maybe that could be a reason to consider for them to be unequipable. But I mean, what would the reasons be for like having it um like to be unequipable, for example?
yeah, they can be moved. The current reason is because there's no way for them to be. We have to upgrade the contract for that. Um, but I don't know. We kind of felt like when you equip something on your parcel, it should basically stay there, especially for installations. But you can unequip tiles. So I mean, if there's a strong opinion on that, I'm actually checking the blog to see what we wrote in there because we might have said they are able to be unequipped. Let me check.
Yeah, Umami's making a point. He says, Hefe, I think they wanted it to be like landmarks in the Gotchiverse for the decorations. So I guess you'd be constructing the landmark, like the decoration on your parcel, and then it would just stay there. But I'm just thinking from a long, like in my opinion, from a long term point of view, these items might become really tradable, just like the wearables have been, right? Especially with different rarities and whatnot.
Yeah, I mean, personally, I think they should be tradable. Like, I don't know how you're going to, how the market would look when trying to sell a parcel with X decorations and X land, X level altar, and however many harvesters. Like, I don't even know how you'd be able to sell something like that on the bazaar because I just don't know where you would put the information. It would get super complicated at some point.
I thought it just populated at the bottom of the listing for what NFTs were attached to it. I feel like I could go either way on that. If you're looking to sell them and you want to market for them, having them be attached to a parcel works in your favor because that reduces supply also. So that could be argued either way.
It does make a case for making them more scarce, I guess. Like, having parcels with this attached will become more scarce, and the parcel itself would have a value added to it.
Yeah.
But it's like, if I start out on one end of the Gotchiverse, I build out a parcel, but now, maybe I've bought a parcel out in the grid, and maybe I want to display my fire out there in the grid on that parcel, but I can't.
You're gonna have
Um,
to buy one, FA, and the prices have skyrocketed.
Yeah, I feel like the decorations are like a customizable portion of a parcel, whereas like harvesters and altars aren't necessarily customizable other than just like upgrading. Personally, I would vote for. I mean, shouldn't this just be a DAO vote? Like, if it's
Yeah.
possible to do. Yeah,
Yeah, I think that's a great idea.
yeah, I personally really like the campfires out of all the decorations. Um, Thought those
same.
are pretty cool. It kind of reminds me of like a burning torch, like what they have at the Olympics. You could have one on each side of your lodge as like you're walking up to it.
Yeah, I think the campfires are
Where
pretty neat.
Where are you guys at right now in the Gotchiverse? I'm like doing
constantly
laps
moving.
around District 1.
I'm constantly moving, but I'm in District 5 right now.
Someone was saying we should do a partner parcel tour. I don't know exactly where the partner parcels are. I have to find them, but it could be fun.
Well, when the land launched, Jesse was giving out ghosts for everyone who posting screenshots of the different partner parcels.
Right, yeah. Well, wait till right now the partners haven't received their parcels yet. So we can probably wait until they've gotten them and they can start building on them a little bit.
How big is a part? I mean, I've seen them, but like, how big is it compared to a spacious?
I think
Twice.
it's double the size. Like it's 64 by 64.
Okay, yeah, so twice the size. Yeah.
Yeah, they're pretty big.
Choya says, so we'll be able to move all installations around on your parcel, but we'll only be able to remove tiles. Well, I mean, I think that's accurate, but it sounds like we're still in discussions about the decorations, whether they'll be able to be removed or not.
I did discover something this morning, I think. If you authorize borrowers to channel your parcel and then you transfer that parcel, the permission goes with it, correct?
Yeah. Yeah, currently it does.
Yeah, that might be a heads up. I don't know where that's going to impact anyone, but if you're selling parcels that are authorized and the buyer, I don't know, my brain's really not that big, but I don't know if that could be an issue or not.
Yeah, it's probably something that should revert back to the default when they went on transfer.
The floors on parcels in the bazaar have been slowly rising up too, which is good to see. I think we're almost back at the like auction level prices for parcels. So you could definitely see there's an interest, people realizing that, hey, maybe I've been collecting Alchemica all day. I might as well go spend some ghost and go just buy a parcel myself.
Yeah.
Keep the whole yield.
I actually got a call from India. What night was that? I think it was.
It was 2 nights ago.
2 nights ago. I had went like they have their like lender leaderboard, and I went from like non-existent to the top of the leaderboard in like less than 24 hours. And like the person underneath me was like, I think they had like $4 or whatever, and I was like 10x that. And so they ended up like calling me and trying to figure out like what I was doing to get so much Alchemica. And I was sales pitching them on land.
That's right. I mean, I've seen a lot of people coming in and asking how they can channel, how they can get their own parcel. There's definitely interest coming in.
People are realizing the
guys
opportunity
expect
cost of not owning a parcel. Oh, sorry.
Yeah,
There's a bit of a
what do you
delay
guys
there.
expect
Sorry, go ahead.
the floor price to be after the GBM?
You mean the next auction?
Yeah.
I mean, it would have to go down a bit, right, in theory.
No, I mean, I would say it at least stays the same because I know a lot of money is sidelined waiting for that auction, and I have people I know in real life that I've been kind of keeping on the sideline until they can get some lower prices.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a great opportunity as an entry point, because you reduce your cost basis on your parcels during the GBM when you're getting outbid. So you're not actually paying the final price of your parcel. You're paying that minus whatever you got paid back if you do it right.
Well, I mean, someone's paying more, right? Some degens out there. They're the ones kind of paying they're the ones footing the bill. It's the degens who kind of foot the bill in the GBM.
That is true. Yeah, that is true. Someone has to pay it. But yeah, I plan on grabbing a couple more at least. Probably humbles because I see the opportunity with just having a humble with a large, just having a altar on it. I guess sitting there for people to channel on.
No.
Hey, Coder Dan, my girlfriend had a question for you. Is that
Okay.
an option?
Yeah.
Well, I wasn't gonna ask.
Go ahead.
No, I don't want to. But no.
She's just curious if you have some late nights and your girlfriend gets upset like I do. That's what she wants to know.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, my wife, but yeah, she's pretty used to it. We're usually going to bed around midnight, 12:30, and then I'm up at like 9-ish. So typically, she's pretty used to it at this point.
There's
It's been
no
like
way
this for a whole year.
Yeah.
What's that?
there's no way you're offline for 9 hours. You're like 6 hours downtime.
Yeah.
You're in China, right? She was curious what time it is right now
Yeah,
for you.
yeah. Right now it's 10:30 p.m. for me.
Oh, okay. So pretty much opposite. All right.
Snack time.
Yeah, wives and Aavegotchi are a tough combo, says Mikey J. I've tried to get her like playing and like doing stuff, but part of it just because every time she wants to get on it, she needs a VPN here. So it's like I gotta teach her VPN, gotta teach her MetaMask, and I've done that, but it's hard. It's a hard sale. I'm like, go and channel with all your gotchis, but I don't know. She hasn't really totally gotten into it yet. But
Yeah, I got
very
her.
supportive.
I gave her a gotchi for her birthday, and then she bought a couple parcels, and then she was lending out her gotchi to my scholars, and they were farming for her during the play drop and stuff. And
Yeah.
then she took those funds and upgraded her parcel, and that was I don't know. I've had like weird crypto experiences, and like that was one of them of like watching her upgrade her parcel with the Alchemica that people from all over the world channeled for. It was just wild.
That's awesome. That's
That is
the
pretty
way.
wild, actually. Wow. Yeah, my girlfriend was getting upset initially, but then same thing. I got her a gotchi for her birthday. Now she goes and channels with it. So it's all good.
Do you guys put
It's
any
like once you're
spirit
in the
force in your
Gotchiverse.
gotchis above the requirement?
Like a whole Bitcoin? Is that where this is going?
I put half a Bitcoin in one of mine for for my wife for our anniversary.
Yeah, I thought
Why would
that
you
was
do
about
that?
half as much as she wanted, right?
Yeah, she's like, well, I was like, well, I'll give you the other half next year. Hopefully, it'll be worth more, or but maybe or less. It'd be easier to buy it with. But either way, I guess is good.
Is there any sort of advantage to doing that? Like,
You have the only advantage right now is that you do have a bigger aura in the Gotchiverse. I don't know how noticeable it is, but it is there. That is part of the mechanic.
I think I turned that graphic off.
Yeah.
That's
But
cool.
yeah,
I didn't know that.
yep. That's like
I'm
one of
gonna
the
put some
first
more Aave in
features
my
we did,
gotchi.
like back in the first like earliest alpha version of the Gotchiverse. That was one of the first features that we added in, the little glow. That glow's been there from day one, pretty much.
I also saw where golden altars have a reduced leveling cost. I initially had no idea that was even a thing. I found out like yesterday.
Do they? All right,
I
I have to look.
I still didn't know that. Are you
It
sure?
was I saw it in a PDF that was shared. I mean, I could be wrong. It was in the main chat. I forget who shared it.
Let me see. They're supposed to be the same, I think.
see.
Yeah, they had the price, like the initial price of creation is higher, and then like level 2 and 3 and 4 were lowered, I thought.
Let's see. It's the golden altar, level 1. Obviously, the price is really high. Level 2 is 300 FUD. Level 3 is 600 FUD. Let's see here. Looks pretty much the same. 1,000 and then 2,000. Yeah, I think they're the same. They're supposed to be the same.
Oh, maybe I don't know. Maybe I'll try to find that. I might have looked at it wrong.
Let's see.
Coder Dan, you were talking about Spirit Force. Are there any future use cases for Spirit Force that you see, that things you guys are thinking about for Spirit Force moving forward?
Yeah, we do want it to be yeah, one of the ideas was to have it as like a sort of a health bonus or health point. But so now that we actually have HP, we probably aren't gonna use that much of the Spirit Force for that. Still kind of thinking of the perfect use case for it. It's weird because it's a thing that players can directly influence by chucking more money at it. And they're not spending the money. So it's like if you can't really give it any like tangible benefit as far as yield earning, because that's just like a pure pay to earn kind of thing. Pay to win. So it's more, yeah, I think it's more for a flex. I want to do more with the altar or with the aura and more ways of showing like the collaterals that we've been talking about with eyes. But yeah, we're definitely gonna. There's so many things that are being confirmed these next like couple months. So I'm sure we'll have a discussion on Spirit Force at some point.
Yeah, that visual aspect's going to keep evolving, right? We're going to have the aura. There's been some talk of maybe laser eyes that are not, they can't hurt anybody, but they're going to look cool, maybe. That might be cool to see. And then, like you said, the collateral eyes being shown, like a bat signal, that'd be kind of cool too.
Yeah. Yeah, it's I'm looking. I guess we'll probably talk more about the eye stuff tomorrow in tomorrow's DAO hangout. But definitely a lot of good ideas out there. We're going to be having a lot of internal discussions on it probably next month. As this month has just been getting the initial version out and then going through all the bugs and then also trying to prevent bots, which is kind of an ongoing thing. But we are making some progress on that. I feel like. So once we get the devs a little bit more of the dev stuff done, we'll continue like iterating and thinking about the fun stuff.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think you were saying before how you guys have worked through a lot of the smart contract work that you needed to do for the Gotchiverse at this stage, right? It's tying up loose ends now.
Pretty much, yeah. A lot of for the realm contract, a lot of it's done. So it's really nice to have that done and no big bugs were found in it. So it's a really good feeling.
Oh, hardcore as a comment. It might be alpha, it might not. The globes, is that implying that maybe the top of the map loops to the bottom of the Gotchiverse?
So the Gotchiverse itself is a big place. What we're actually in right now is one small part of the entire world of the Gotchiverse. Like for Act 1, even the grid is still pretty small. We're actually like quite a small part of it. We have the full map that we've kind of designed it out, and it's like Middle Earth kind of scale. It's big.
but
Hey,
we're
I had
only
something.
we don't need to use all that space yet. We're in the part we're in is like the main Gotchi hangout area, and then we're gonna have some other areas as well. Obviously, the lore part of the Shall Not Pass will be coming into play at some point in the future.
Hey, quick question, Coder Dan. Hey,
Oh,
quick question. I've been watching bots almost just appear when Alchemica does. Like they're just appearing out of nowhere. Like they're like a hack to just show up where the Alchemica is. I don't know if that's a thing or not, but I've seen it happen like at least 10 times now. So
Yeah, it's not really a bot. Or it could be a bot playing, but it's not actually a hack. What you're seeing is uh servers kind of not talking to each other properly. And
okay, so
so
yeah, it just looks like they come from nowhere.
yeah. When they pick up the Alchemica, it syncs with the server that you're on, and then you see them at that moment.
No,
But they
no, they're
were
popping.
actually there the entire time.
They're actually popping up close to the Alchemica before they pick it up, running and picking it
Right.
up, and that's what I've been seeing.
Yeah. Pretty sure we've looked into that a couple times, and it does seem like that's the issue, that there's just like a server sync issue.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, I just wondered. They keep
yeah.
picking up
I
my
want to
Alchemica.
quickly just flip back to what you said about Middle Earth. A Middle Earth-sized map. So the Citadel is quite large, right? That's um going to be a very small part, you say, about of the greater map, but then beyond the map that we know, there is more land, like more space behind
Well,
that
yeah, we gotta have
kind of.
Act 2 and 3, right?
Oh man, this is crazy. I mean, I did not even think about this because we're always focused on the Citadel, and then we know there's going to be more coming, but how much more? I did not know that it was going to be quite extensive. Like that's
Oh yeah,
three acts. Okay.
we're preparing. We have an entire like backstory lore that we've been working on. That's like it features a lot of different characters and a whole story that's going to be evolving over time. Like we're really in just like the very beginning of it.
That is very exciting. Can we quickly just go over like the acts itself? I know we have people that have joined the Gotchiverse and maybe haven't heard of like how these acts work because we talk about them fairly often. How are they divided up, these acts, and then kind of what in general happens in each act?
So how they're divided up, at least from Act 1 to Act 2, there will be 9 great battles that happen between now and the end of Act 1 and the beginning of Act 2. And after those 9 great battles, the what will likely happen is the Shall Not Pass will open up, and we'll be going into the Act 2 world, which is past the Shall Not Pass. We're not going to really say too much about what's going to happen in Act 2 yet, but there will be things happening in Act 1, and definitely will continue into Act 2.
And that's like the story element that you're talking about. That there's gonna be
Yeah.
elements of story and like lore that gets introduced at each act that happens, right?
Yep.
And then 9 great battles. Is each battle like a round? Like we see in the Gotchiverse Bible, I think it describes the Alchemica distribution. Each one is like a round, right?
Yeah. So during Act 1, there's 10 rounds total. Right now we're not even in a round yet because we haven't even surveyed our parcels yet. But when we do, that will be round 1, and then after the first great battle, that will go to round 2, and you'll be able to survey your parcels again. And then after after each round, which is a great battle, you'll be able to survey your parcel again until once we get to the last round. That will be kind of the end of Act 1.
And how long does the round last? Is it like 3 months? I think I remember. give or take?
Yeah, well, we're like once we start them, we're roughly looking at 2 to 3 months per round. Could be longer, it could be shorter,
And you said
but
you survey your plot multiple times. Does that mean that the Alchemica within your plot will change per round?
it'll so every time you survey, it'll just get added on top of what you currently have.
Okay, so like it's not it's always going to be like say your plot has 20,000 alpha, it'll be 20,000 every time. It's not going to be 20,000 one time, then 30,000 the next time.
It could be, because
Oh,
it's going to be based on the VRF, but you won't go down. But
okay.
you might get 20,000 alpha the first time, and 3,000 the next time, and then 15,000 the next time. It'll
Will
be
it roll
random each
over?
time.
I guess will it roll over though each time?
Yeah, yeah, it will.
So you'll be
It's
able
going
to
to
keep
add.
everything. Okay.
Yeah, whatever
So what
you've
if you don't
surveyed so
roll?
far.
What if you don't survey? Does that survey go away when the new one pops up?
Nope, it's a counter. So every time you could theoretically wait till the last minute and then do all 9 surveys at once and have like a completely clean parcel that's never been never been harvested on before.
And that would mean that there'd be like 9 times the amount of whatever you pulled those 9 times.
It wouldn't be 9 times. Well, there would be 9 surveyings, but it would be the equivalent of someone who's been surveying at the beginning of each round. It would just be you would have all the Alchemica at the end. You would
Okay,
have
but
this like big chunk.
it would actually take you longer to get all of that out, so you'd actually sit there and have to wait. So just
Yeah.
like the other person would have already gotten it all out.
Yeah, I mean you could wait, or you could uh however, it's basically up to you at your strategy. You
That's
could
kind of like Clash of Clans. You don't want to wait that long. You just want to kind of keep upgrading.
yeah. It's a little bit like portals. I mean, portals kind of, the longer you wait with them now, it's probably a little bit like you're losing out a little bit because you never opened them. But at the same time, it's like a collector's item. An unsurveyed spacious parcel in the Citadel might be worth collecting one day.
Yeah, definitely a golden altar will be like that too in the future.
Yeah.
It'll be like an empty plot in Manhattan. You know, people will be just wanting to get their hands on that.
Same with there's only going to be like 5 godlikes of those you said, right? So like those new decorations. So if you're not able to move them, there's only 5 of them. Say 4 people that got a godlike, put them on their property. There's only 1 left. That makes it pretty rare.
So Coder Dan, you were talking about how there's a greater area in the map over, the coming years, decades that is going to be planned out and implemented. Do you see maybe at some point in the future another town forming out there that's rivals the Citadel, in terms of size? You see something like that happening?
I definitely think there's areas out there. There would definitely be settlements. Like you could definitely see settlements forming around the Forest of Fudd or the Mount Oomph, the Polygon Lakes, I mean, basically any of those areas um, could have like little towns outside of the Citadel. They'll have to be a little bit more protected because that's where the liquidators will be. So you'll want to have strong fortifications. But yeah, you could definitely have um, some areas out there. One of my favorite areas is the Yield Field. That's going to be a place outside of the Citadel. I think it's roughly next to the arena and like between the arena and Polygon Lakes. I think that's where it is.
Yeah, I'm looking
That's
at
where
it
there's
right now.
we're planning to put some extra Alchemica spawns in there and have it be like a kind of a little battleground. And that there will be definitely PvP enabled in there, Gotchis versus Liquidators. they'll be able to basically fight all the time for ground in the yield field.
Oh man, those yield fields sound amazing. I'm gonna have to like deck my gotchis out to go out there and make sure I can gather yield.
Yeah.
I wonder if it's gonna be like the heart battles that we're seeing in the Citadel, where like everyone was trying to grab as much alchemica as they could. There's people shooting hearts by the portals or the where you deposit the alchemica, and it was a really cool dynamic. Be interesting to see something like that happen, the yield fields.
Yeah, that's there's definitely going to be a lot of activity and fighting in there. It's right, yeah. It's got a nice map posted by Daddy Dolpix. You got the arena. The arena will be a place where you can actually have PvP with gotchis, and then next to that will be the yield field.
I wonder if you can. It's a sub topic, but I wonder if you could talk about the plan for channeling at reset. If there was like anything you guys were working on or making changes or anything like that, because it was kind of a little hectic last night.
You mean like the time when it resets?
Well, whether you're thinking about making changes in terms of the times, like people were suggesting people are able to set their own time where every day you choose a time and every day that's the time you reset, or if you guys were just making internal changes like slow rolling the alchemica so it doesn't all show up at one time or anything like that.
Yeah, I know there. Right now we just have like one instance of the Alchemica spawn API, and so I think the sheer number of channeling that's taking place at that minute was putting some stress on the instance. So we're gonna keep making that more robust, and we're not really planning to change anything about the channeling time at this point. Having it like user based, I feel like we'd have to have some rules about that. Like you wouldn't want people channeling and then changing their time.
So in my mind, how it would work is like, say you channel, say you have your time set for like 2 minutes from now, so 11 a.m. Eastern. If you changed it, you wouldn't be able to change it for like, there would be a cooldown, obviously. Like you wouldn't be able to change it for 24 hours from now. So like you'd have to change it to like 12 p.m. tomorrow. Like you wouldn't be able to change it within 24 hours of the current time, obviously.
Yeah. Yeah, that's an interesting idea. That would make it probably take a little bit of stress off the spawn API.
Like I think the main appeal, besides obviously it just what you said, taking some of the stress off the game, is that currently either you're online at 8 p.m. Eastern or you aren't. Like you can get more Alchemica within half an hour of being online at 8 p.m. Eastern than you can for playing 20 hours after that, or 20 hours leading up to the reset. So it really all comes down, like for me it's fine because I'm in Eastern, so it's 8 p.m. for me. But if it was 4 a.m., if I lived in Europe, that would suck. You'd be missing that every day. So if people could choose their own time, then it wouldn't be as bad.
Yeah, I mean the DAO voted this proposal, and I know there was a little bit of discussion about there might be like this issue might crop up because everyone's channeling at the same time.
Well, couldn't you go off of time zones to where basically everybody in a different time zone, that time would be the same for everybody at the same time during the day?
Not really, because the blockchain doesn't really have time zones. It's block.timestamp. So
okay.
Changing this wouldn't really, like, it could still be in line with the DAO vote, right? Because it would just be your interpretation of the DAO vote. The DAO vote, all it said was within a 24-hour window. And you could interpret the 24-hour window as choosing your own 24-hour window.
I mean,
So
I
it wouldn't
really
really be
don't
going
mind. And
against what the downvote says. All I'm saying.
so who does it really affect? Does it affect the scholars or does it affect us? Does it affect the people running around picking up the Alchemica when it all spawns at once?
Well, I played a ton of games over my gaming experience, and it just isn't necessarily the most fun thing to be told you have to be on at this time, or else you're being
Well, no,
punished.
I mean, I go on whenever I want in that 24-hour period. I just know that if I want to, I could start over at that time, but I most likely won't,
Well, I'm
just
telling you,
because of
for
my
like
day.
for someone picking up Alchemica, if you aren't on at reset, you're being punished. Like
Yeah, that makes
there's
sense.
there's like a half-hour window there at reset where if you aren't on, then you're going to collect half as much Alchemica as you could have in the rest of the day.
I've been calling it Gotchi happy hour.
I guess you better get up out of your sleep and channel, or I mean, pick up.
I can say if you have more parcels than you have gotchis, that's kind of where it'll kick you because, we're all fighting for those same contracts. So right now, it's like 0.2 for 4 hours, you get 70%. So since everybody's fighting for that contract, you have to do the math. And so like if I rent that contract at 5 p.m. and gotchis reset at 8 p.m., that gives me a 1 hour window to channel all my parcels with those gotchis. And then, the counter to that would be, if you had like four distinct times, like 4-time windows, and then depending on when you channeled, it just went to the either the last or the next window. You could kind of break it up into 4, I think, that way, to where there would be 4 distinct times. And
So basically, you gotta wait after you channel that one time. Even if the reset happens, you still have to wait a certain amount of time.
it would just be that it would be one of those 4 times is when it would be
Okay.
available in a
You
24
just have
hour
to jump back
window.
into it.
Yeah, so instead of 8 p.m., it would say again.
It's like you're still telling people they need to join at a certain time of day, right?
But it would at least break it up over the 24-hour window so that people, like, it wouldn't be 3 a.m. all the time. It could be, the third or the second next time, breaking out evenly into 4.
I think people would sit there and do the same thing, though. I think.
I feel like
They would, but it would be 4 times they would be doing it during the day instead of just 1.
I feel like if you're able to set your own time and there's some sort of mechanism in terms of not being able to be abused, and it wouldn't be too hard to implement, then I feel like that solves most issues.
I mean, the original mechanic was kind of nice. It didn't really have any of that issue. The main issue was just the time drag of having channeling a bunch of
Every day
gotchis.
you lose a bit of time.
Yeah.
My
Yeah, I mean,
girlfriend.
we could make it we could have a cooldown system where you could set your own cooldown and set at what hour you want to channel, I guess. I'm wondering if everyone would how that would work in real play.
So it would be a time you'd have to wait, like, to cool down after each time, no matter what,
Yeah.
instead of being able to
Like, you'd
jump
have to-
in and then. It takes me a
Yeah,
long
probably
time to do all the channeling, so I'd have to channel all my gotchis like 3 hours before, do everything else that I was doing. It would interrupt the rental period. I mean, a lot of pros and cons, right?
Yeah, I will say it's nice having that one distinct time at this point. I mean, if you're in an optimized time zone, obviously, because I know for a fact that if I rent this gotchi at this time, I can channel at the time, versus like looking at every individual one to see when the reset is going to be.
Yeah, a lot of pros and cons to this. I actually like it just the way it is, but I mean, it is what it is.
Yeah, I mean, the way it works out, the way it is currently works for me. I just don't think it's necessarily the most fair system.
Well, I think turning it into the other thing, it makes it more unfair, right? So, I mean, basically it's, when you keep it simple. Otherwise, now you just get into like, the pros and cons of changing everything up.
Yeah, and we can also like vote again at some point. I don't feel like we're making commandments here.
Do you
No.
think a lot of people just vote the way other people vote? Because I don't know, like sometimes I'm just like, hey, everybody already voted at 8 million this way. I'm just going to vote that way too.
Yeah, is there any thoughts to making the votes hidden until the vote is done?
Not with Snapshot. They don't have that option. But I think it's a work in progress. Like, if we don't get it right the first time, we can always have a revote. White Ranger, I was waiting for someone to post that.
Could you at least hide? Could you at least like hide the amounts everybody voted, like which way and everything? Or would you be able to hide that at all? Because maybe they'd make people read it more. Maybe you think,
I mean, Snapshot does not support that. If it's on IPFS, and anyone can see what's on IPFS. The only way to do that is to have like a system where I've seen a couple like on-chain voting protocols back in the day that were doing this. They have like a vote period and it's hidden, and then there's like a reveal period. And during the reveal period, you send another contract transaction and it reveals your vote to everyone. But I have not seen anyone in Snapshot do that yet, because it's on IPFS, but there might be a way to do it. I don't think that's that big of an issue though, because people are still going to see what people are writing in the forums and in the DAO discussion. Everyone's going to kind of know what people are voting.
No, I know that. I was just kind of saying people kind of follow the group. So like some people might just be voting one way because everybody else did, and that kind of takes away from them making their own kind of decision. And then a lot of it has to do with the XP. A lot of it has to do with the XP given away on those.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think
I would highly
it's going to fix that though. I think if they're going to be lazy and not read it, they're not going to, just because you take away the vote, that's not going to like incentivize them to read more.
The voting is also weighted. So if they're too lazy to like read about what's going on, they probably don't have a lot of weight, because
you don't even have to read. You don't even have to read anymore. I mean, I highly recommend anybody who's interested in the DAO discussion come hang out on Sunday mornings. We do a DAO discussion every Sunday morning now, where you don't even have to read the proposal. Just come hang out. We'll talk about all the proposals there, and I live stream it. I think Zombie Shepherd does too. So you just have to watch, and kind of like with the hangouts, just come to the DAO discussion. That's where we actually have a lot of these discussions too. So it's definitely worth checking out.
I think the current system of channeling, even with its issues, is still better than the original, the petting system, where it starts after a time.
Yeah, I mean,
another
thing we've been talking about is bubble ups too. That's something I've been kind of curious about. Especially with I know there's going to be people trying to get some estates around some Alchemica. That might be some advantageous like moves. How are you thinking about bubble ups at the moment, Coder Dan? I know we're discussing this actively in the DAO, but what are some ideas you guys might have?
I mean, honestly, we've just been super busy with the basics, so I haven't thought that much about it apart from what we've already talked about in the DAO calls. Pretty much nothing's really changed there yet.
Yeah, fair enough. I mean, I had this idea last night that I kind of actually wanted to bring up, where there was this game I used to play called Albion. It was like a MMORPG, and they'd have these like treasure chest events where like there'd be a treasure chest that shows up somewhere on the map, and then there's a countdown timer, and most of the people on the map can kind of see the general direction of where this bubble up in this case would be happening. And so you'd have a timer to get over there, and for that timer, while it's going, there'd be this alchemica like constantly bubbling up to the surface, and then it would just be like a mad like frenzy to try and collect as much of this in that bubble up zone. It could be like a one instance of the bubble up, and you can have multiple instances of this.
Yeah.
Like that's something I thought would be really cool to do, add a little competitiveness.
That's kind of an idea for the yield field. I've been thinking about
You're a
that.
robot, man.
We'll definitely have a lot of that kind of stuff in the yield field. But the bubble ups for the parcels, again, it's probably just going to be linked to some on-chain event or just like a timer, and they'll bubble up, and the parcels nearby will be able to see that they've spawned on there. But we can think a little bit more about what kind of on-chain events we'd like to see that happen with. Be kind of fun to have it linked to some interesting on-chain events.
Every time there's a liquidation on an Aave, maybe a certain ratio gets released.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, it'd be a cool lore tie-in, actually.
I've been messing around with Phaser this week, trying to figure out how to make a mini game to work. It's been interesting. I've got a lot of ideas. I just have to figure out how to implement them.
I can't believe no one's made a Gotchi racing game yet. But I guess it's pretty tough because you got to have the game server to prevent cheating. But such an intuitive game. We're gonna have to build it first in the Gotchiverse, I think.
It'll come. I was about to do it on my part.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's DAO funds set aside for this, right? For
Yeah,
building mini
totally.
games and whatnot.
We're all just a bunch of degens, channeling 24 hours a day, so no one's got any time left for building mini games.
Or like eating or sleeping or life stuff.
Hey, everyone.
Hey.
GM.
I see there's been so much building this week. I know it's not a little thing, and we've got to claim our upgrades now. That's pretty cool. I like that.
Yeah, my girlfriend just claimed hers in front of me, and that.
How much did she say how much it was in gas?
We can go look at the transaction. Give me just a minute.
Yeah, it might be a little bit expensive, but it shouldn't be as bad as it was before.
I think it was a bit over at 1 Matic for me. I'll just quickly check.
Whoa, what is this liquidator? That's sick. That's pretty neat.
Oh yeah, that's Coco's artwork, I believe. And I think he's doing physical prints of these as well. It's gonna be really cool.
Transaction fee was 0.01039.
Oh, nice.
So 0.01. Yeah, 1 cent. It has the probably less than a cent.
And it went through? That's awesome.
Yeah, I'll send the transaction ID in the chat.
Yeah, I've got one for one of my parcels now, 0.013.
Yeah, someone in chat said 0.04 Matic for 4 upgrades, so it sounds like it's about 0.01 per upgrade.
And of course, it depends how tweaky they are doing it. 30.1 for gas rather than 50 or 70 or 100 or whatever MetaMask suggests, which is always off.
Yeah. Before the optimization, it was like 0.5 Matic. Now it's tiny. So very good. It's pretty simple. It's a fairly simple on-chain transaction. I don't really know why it was costing so much before. I mean, I do know, but it shouldn't have been that much. So this is much better looking.
Yeah, that's awesome optimization, not only for cost, but also for the Polygon network, meaning more transactions can happen, less stress on the network.
Yeah, let me have a look at the gas station see what position we're in. Right now, I do not, let's see, I don't see our contract on the top 10 anymore. I see Aavegotchi NFTs at top 4, so the lending is still going very active, but the Realm contract is at number 15 right now.
The realm contract, does that mean channeling and upgrading?
Yeah, channeling, equipping, upgrading. Yeah.
I wonder what number we're at 8 p.m. Eastern every day.
Yeah, I'll have to check it. If anyone goes on, definitely take a screenshot. Yeah, we have some more optimizations that we're working on that'll be really good for crafting tiles and installations. Right now, they're pretty unoptimized, so we have those ready, and the wings should be going out next week.
Right when crafting tiles ends.
Yeah.
So Dan, can I ask, so before when someone put an upgrade through, say you pay for an upgrade, that was a big transaction because that helped push others through. Is that right?
Yeah.
But now you have to pay for the upgrade in a small transaction, and then also once the timer runs out, then you have to pay again. Is that correct?
Yeah, so you pay to start the upgrade, and then when it finishes, you pay to basically what you're doing in this transaction is you unequip the original NFT. You it basically you're upgrading. So that one the original one gets burned, and then the new one gets equipped onto the parcel. And so that you're basically unequipping and equipping, unequipping the old one, equipping the new one, and that transaction is that's what basically you're doing on chain when you confirm it.
Yeah, cool, man. That makes sense, and it means that others aren't subsidizing that, and there's a backlog and all that sort of stuff. So yeah, that totally makes sense.
Yeah.
I was gonna ask, is there any plans for like a very, very low level tile, like basically like grass, just for your parcel? Kind of like how the altars
yes.
work. Okay, cool.
Yeah, we actually have some interesting designs for like basic tiles. But yeah, if you guys have any fun ideas, we'd love to experiment. We didn't want to put them out too early yet though, because we don't want the golden tiles to feel like they're competing against the normal tiles. But we do have lots of ideas for some other potential interior decorations for your floors.
Yeah, I was very interested in something just like very simple and basic, just so we can start covering the ground for when the scholars run around. It'd be kind of cool to have giant sections just covered.
I like the idea of the Gotchi grass. That's cool.
Yeah, I don't know what came to me, but yeah, just like grass for your yard, would be the basic, and then you got all those flowers and different decorations.
Yeah, the Gotchiverse is going to look really, really different. Probably, I'm thinking a couple months from now when people are, constructing like many different types of installations and different types of tiles, like you were saying, with decorations and whatnot. I don't think we'll see it like this anymore for past a certain point. I bet you there'll be certain districts that'll just be like completely decked out. Are we gonna see walls release around the same time as harvesters, or is that gonna come after?
Probably a little bit after. We've been specking out the final specs for the next big release for harvesters and reservoir and potentially maker, but that might take a little bit extra time to get that. But we'll definitely be having harvesters and reservoirs for the next release, and then the following will be having probably either gotchi traits or social stuff, NFT displays.
Will that be when the VRF is for Poland? Then when you release the harvesters and reservoirs?
Yes, yeah, that's when that'll start. That'll be round 1.
Now, do you think with the tokenomics and everything, do you think that'll dilute the Alchemica at all? Anybody out there?
I mean, it definitely will lead to more inflation because there's going to be harvesters and reservoirs generating. But there will be more stuff to spend your Alchemica on as well. You'll have the actual building out of the parcel, so that'll also add a good burn, at least initially, until we have other non-yield related sinks.
Yeah,
I was also
go ahead.
I was wondering if you could actually add the ability to use like Alchemica inside of the bazaar to kind of like keep that from going through Ghost. Maybe that might help Ghost from going down too much.
Yeah, because it's interesting. Yeah, I mean, we could. It would just add more complexity to the listing and stuff. I was thinking about that a little bit yesterday. It seems I don't know. I think it's best just to keep it in Ghost for now.
Well, I just think everything is being run through Ghost right now. That's kind of like adding to a lot of maybe the little bit of deflation that's happening with it. So, taking, I don't know if that's helping or hurting. What do you think, Dane?
Well,
I think it's mostly the bot extractors that are just farming the Alchemica and selling it. They're selling it to Ghost and selling the Ghost for USDC.
Could like me, Hefe, and No Future and Zombie go around and be bot assassins? Just go kill bots. That'd be more fun than running around picking stuff up. I'd rather just run around and kill them.
Yeah, I think we're almost to that point. We're trying a lot of different stuff out, and if it's a little bit of setup to be able to do that, but at some point we might just have to have a bot squad going around stamping out the bot.
Bot assassin squad. I know it wasn't a great movie, but the movie, I think it was Nice Guy or something with Ryan Reynolds. He was like something like that.
Yeah.
Has there been much discussion about? Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say those two guys trying to track him down in the movie, trying to kill him. I wouldn't mind being a bot assassin. Maybe we could have like a bot assassin guild.
Yeah.
I think there needs to be bot assassin wearables introduced before there's bot assassins, or maybe there's an outfit. I think there has to be a set outfit that.
I want my sniper rifle.
You can wear that, and the bot assassin wearable outfit.
I want my bot sniper rifle, long range. It lets you zoom out on the board. Just tag them.
Dan, briefly you mentioned NFTs there. Is Aavegotchi planning to do anything with NFTs? Like, are there going to be Aavegotchi NFTs? Or, like, there's displays for the NFTs, but is there any other, like, alpha around that?
Yeah, there's definitely some things in the works right now. We are quite close to getting something ready to show to you guys, but it'll be a little bit longer. But there's definitely something in the works related to Aavegotchis and basically like non-Aavegotchi, but Aavegotchi related artwork.
That's very
cool. It's gonna be lit.
Yeah. that's the, you know, oh, I see Golden Cross up here too. Welcome.
Hey guys.
Hey.
Good morning. Good morning.
GM.
Yeah, I had
Good
to
morning.
hop up. I was also brainstorming the other day about the ghost token and the bazaar, and I think my take on that is it's kind of like you have Aavegotchi the protocol, and then you have the Gotchiverse. So if we were to start using Alchemica for direct payments in the bazaar, it's definitely something that would be interesting. I don't think it would really help any sell pressure on Ghost. That shouldn't be the main goal anyway, but it could be something to consider. My only concern would be it kind of blurs the line between the protocol, which is like Ghost token, and the bazaar can be a home to things beyond just the Gotchiverse, kind of like what Dan was just alluding to. We might see the bazaar getting more functionality here in the very near future. We want to make sure the bazaar is a robust product of its own. So I don't know if the Alchemica tokens would blur that line too much or not, but it's certainly an interesting thought to play out, at least think through.
I think the bot assassins would be good too. Get rid of more bots. That would reduce the sell pressure, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Do you think that the
it
rentals?
sounds like,
Do you think that
it sounds
the
like
rentals?
we're moving from. It sounds like we're moving from possibly having a bazaar and moving to like a grand exchange. That sounds interesting. And maybe an appropriate evolution, for Aavegotchi as we move into the Gotchiverse. And there's so many creative people in Aavegotchi coming out of the woodwork with great projects. So I'm really excited to see what happens next.
Well, the bazaar can act as an entire vector of gameplay for some individuals. Just doing arbitrage there.
Say that again. I missed that.
The bazaar can be like a whole vector of gameplay. Some people enjoy just buying and selling items in games and that whole process. I have a friend I know in life that did that in World of Warcraft. Like, he didn't even run around and do anything. He just traded all day.
Totally. That's like another part of the Gotchi economy, right? Like, it can just
That sounds like no future. He just does
be
that all day, every day.
Yeah, but he plays too. But I think what White Ranger is saying is like some people just want to hang out in the bazaar and be a bazaar master, and that can be totally, like you say, kind of a vector to enjoy an aspect of the Gotchiverse, even if you don't like real-time gaming or something. So, yeah, I'd love to see it grow in terms of variety of NFTs it can support, that kind of thing. But still be Aavegotchi. And if that's the case, it seems like Ghost is still perfectly positioned at least at this time, to be the lifeblood of the bazaar.
I'm still interested to see what will happen with the decks when it comes out. How many more things we can add to it, Like we were talking about, I think a few months ago, we were talking about how big it could be.
Yeah, we could talk about the decks. Dan, are you talking or I'm trying to... It looks like you're speaking, but I can't hear you. Is anybody else having that issue?
Probably just... is there a noise? It's probably just my fan.
Oh.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, you coming in fine. I think the waves were from your fan. Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, the Dex is just like another product. We have just a lot on our plate right now with... we have a new V2 design coming out hopefully next month for Aavegotchi.com, and so a lot of our effort is focused on that. It's going to bring a lot of big improvements to the site. So once that's done, we'll have a little bit more front end muscle on the Aavegotchi.com side to implement the decks.
I also remember.
Coming.
I was going to say, I
And
also
the
remember
V2 is
hearing
so
that.
important because, we got to have better onboarding for people that want to play the Gotchiverse or any of the other aspects of the Aavegotchi ecosystem. But right now it's a bit intimidating. So hopefully this V2 is just going to be so much better in so many ways in terms of onboarding new people and not being too intimidating and just having a great UX. A ton of effort has been put into that. So June's going to be a really cool month. A lot of things to ship and a couple surprises along the way.
I know I've also heard about possibly like other companies coming in and having their coin released in Aavegotchi. Was that something that was still on the table, or is that like in the future?
Yeah, I think it's not something we're gonna have probably next month, but definitely once we've perfected the art of the play drop and the token dropping and are confident that most of the players are real humans, we'll definitely be really open to like having special play areas for other tokens, other projects that want to come in.
I was thinking about like specifically like YGG has their own token in the future. Maybe some of the other guilds might want to release their own tokens as well, and maybe they expand even out of Aavegotchi to do more things with other people, but they still want to release their token, and maybe they can just release their token right in the the Citadel or something.
I still would love to see Little Tiny but dropped in the Gotchiverse for the Bored Apes. I'd be willing to supply some, maybe. I'm not a big fan. I don't know anything about him, but it'd be fun to do. I know their tokens on Matic, so.
Yeah, we could probably, if anyone knows any NFT influencers in the ape ecosystem, we could definitely get something together with him.
Is Addison on the call? He might.
Addison in the Discord.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't think he's on the call.
No. What is it?
I want some of what you're smoking.
Right. I gotta jump on my Twitter. I forget his name.
Speaking of, Dan just dropped this amazing meme. Dan, did you make that yourself? It's hilarious.
I did. Well, I mean, it's the left part is a template, but I added the text.
Yeah, well played. And you're
So
doing
true.
a giveaway? Is there a winner to announce?
It's going to be 72 hours, so I'm going to give it a couple. I posted it at 3 p.m. Singapore time. So after another how many hours? Probably 50 hours or so, I'll do giving away a humble parcel. So you got to include the phrase "Come on, man" in your quote retweet text. And you got to tag 2 of your favorite NFT influencers.
Oh, that's so funny. A few come to mind. People that love to say good things about Aavegotchi, but they're so quiet publicly. I don't get it.
It's Young Abstract. I just knew it started with an A. My bad.
Oh, nice.
Oh yeah. So sorry, what Andrew? You were saying the Young Abstract. Like, where were we going with that?
He's plugged in. If anyone knows any Bored Apes, I think it'd be him.
Oh. Another cool group that's migrated to Matic is the Cyberkongs. And we've got some friends in Cyberkongville now. So you could see their bananas showing up in the Gotchiverse or something. Yeah, there's a lot of ways. The partner parcels, all those partners, I fully expect, actually we've had conversations about their tokens, having token events on their partner parcels that are themed around their own tokens if they have their own token. So be a lot of ways to incorporate with other projects.
Sorry, I was just reading the chat here. Coco said Brian Brinkman has a gotchi. I think Brian Brinkman is one of the co-illustrators for Rick and Morty, actually. Which is kind of cool. It's like
wow.
For a celebrity gotchi holder.
Oh, Zeba.
I know.
Yeah, I was gonna say I knew we talked about Brian Brinkman. Like I heard that name. I think Zeba is friends with Brian to some extent.
So Rick is coming to the Gotchiverse in one of the shows. Is that what we're saying?
Oh man.
Oh, that would be next level.
I think somebody shared a screenshot a couple weeks ago. It looked like there was a almost Gotchi sighting in the show. But I don't follow the show that well, so I don't know. Maybe it was photoshopped.
I think Vitalik
Yeah.
might be like a secret Gotchi owner too.
Hey, is anybody reading about these soulbound NFTs? His latest piece on how to.
Yeah, I didn't. I think it's a cool idea, but I was reading one guy's thread about it, and basically the issue with them is like basically what happens when you lose access to your account. And then he ended the thread like, if you have any ideas how to solve that, definitely start working on it. It's like,
That's why I built
Right.
Aavegotchi.
Now,
I
are you
mean,
saying Vitalik himself concluded that way? Because that's kind
no,
of
I don't. I didn't read the piece by Vitalik yet, but the guy who wrote the thread on that piece pretty much ended it with that sentiment, which I think it's a cool idea.
Hey,
But
he could be in here listening right now, and like an
Yeah.
alter identity or whatever.
yeah, it's a big issue to solve.
Taking advice from Coder Dan and Jesse.
Yeah, and badges are basically soulbound NFTs to Aavegotchis.
yeah.
But I mean,
that was kind of why I secretly enjoyed reading. I was like, oh, we're kind of like a proto soulbound NFT. Like we're thinking of identity and longevity of the NFT, developing a unique background for each Aavegotchi. But yeah, there's a few more layers to the cake he's working on there in his proposal. But
mhm.
it even sounds ghost-like, Gotchi-like, soulbound,
Yeah, he's in here right now listening, guys.
ripping us off.
He might be
Nah.
Felon, right?
Nah.
That makes sense, doesn't it? Do we know who
He's
Felon
a
is?
Gotchi friend.
Yeah, this Tamagotchi. I mean, this is also the other part of it. It's like people can still create a secondary market for their account, for their private key. Like it would be tough to do probably, but it happens already.
Yeah,
It would
people would
be
somehow wrap or otherwise encrypt and sell. You'd end up back in the same place probably.
it's just you take a weird way to get there, but somehow you're just going to create a black market for private keys. Yeah. So it's a weird
Yeah.
idea. I mean, it's definitely worth exploring, but the people have to think a lot about how to prevent stuff like that from happening. Any kind of identity, pure identity on the blockchain. I mean, there's like on-chain history, and then there's actually being the person you are on the blockchain, and it's really difficult, probably almost impossible to have like a true human identity on the blockchain.
You could tell Tommy's been reading up. He's thinking this through. He says you need to derive it from someone's DNA. I was going to think like in the future, a birth certificate at the hospital issued will have a private key assigned.
It'll be an
Yeah.
AI body scan, full body scan, DNA test.
I mean, isn't it just like the perpetual issue of analog to digital that we all live on a constant? I mean, it's almost like an ephemeral problem.
Mm-hmm.
Does everybody really want to be known, though?
Well, that's why I like the Aavegotchis, because we still have non-transferable NFTs, but they're just the history of that Gotchi. And
Yeah, I'm
seems
kind of
like a nice
about
middle
that
way.
pirate life.
Mm-hmm.
I definitely like
Aavegotchi
when I-
is very unique in that sense. I mean,
when I bought like a
they
Gotchi
even
and it
have
had a
this,
bunch of cool
escrow
stuff that was
contract.
cool.
Yeah, Aavegotchis have this escrow contract too, right? That might be interesting. I know Dan had brought it up with possibly having Alchemica inside of your Aavegotchi and then assigning it tasks like builder tasks. Like I could see there being a huge use case for that.
That's super cool. There's like really any ERC20 token could be deposited. Then you got the NFTs. And if you're able to like harness that and put it to work, automate it in some sense, basically do more asset management directly within the Gotchis, that particular Gotchi's balances, that would be the next level. What's this? We see, are those Power Rangers in game? How'd they get in there?
Yeah, I mean, I reported this in the bug. I sent this in the bug report chat. You guys never responded. But the Rick and Morty thing reminded me of like the crossover opportunity and like the Kongs and all that stuff.
That's pretty funny, actually.
Yeah, I can't believe that one slipped through the cracks, How did we not catch that report? They're among us.
Yeah, that's funny as. Nice work.
Do you guys see a future where there are other characters in the Gotchiverse, like besides Liquidators?
It's
or do
inevitable.
you see more other projects coming in?
Yeah, I definitely do. I think it's just not a super priority because we're still so alpha. But eventually, yeah, hopefully it's very interoperable, and there might be some. Hopefully, the work for, let's say there's a project that wants to also be able to bring their NFT gang, their PFP, into the Gotchiverse. As long as there's like a way that they can put in whatever work there needs to be done to make them compatible, it should be able to be done in some sense. Now, whether they can do the farming and all that stuff, maybe not. But at least once the social social features are at a high enough point, it'd be pretty cool to see more interoperability.
And it can also be like for just a week or like a 2-week period, similar to like what Fortnite does with its different kind of like crossover stuff.
Totally. In fact, that's, I think, how it would have to go initially. It'd be like almost like stress test / let's just try it out, see what feels good, like have an event. Kind of like when World Wide Web, they invited Aavegotchi over for a kickoff party. Event-based stuff is always great because it's a win-win for everybody involved. So it could start that way. I think that makes sense.
Yeah, very cool. But like you said, we're really early. Like we're still building out the infrastructure, so I'm pretty excited about that. Just to get the land parcels all differentiated out.
Yeah.
To see those on the bazaar is going to be interesting.
Yeah, and I personally am looking for more like user-generated content, more NFT display cases, more ways to show off NFTs. Then it would make kind of like crypto voxels is a great, like their primary utility is for meetups and showing off your art gallery, showing off your NFT gallery. So that utility is enough really for crypto voxels to thrive. I think we can have our own version of similar social features at a level that's enjoyable and great for hosting meetups. And if we get there, then it really makes sense to start, integrating and having these kind of event-based cross-pollination events.
It would be cool to be able to like go into somebody's property and they got like a VR, like an art gallery you can go walk around in. I don't know if that's possible, but
I don't know, like with the VR thing, I personally don't see the Gotchiverse really becoming a VR thing, but maybe there's potential for that. I could see games being built that are maybe VR based and somehow plug into the
Well,
Gotchiverse. Like
in the
that would be
same
kind of cool.
concept, you could kind of like put like a little VR showroom inside your property. It's not really like the whole Gotchiverse, but like it's just a little piece. You can walk around and look at stuff. Maybe you can walk around as your Gotchi. You can look in the mirror and see yourself. That'd be cool.
Yeah, that would be pretty interesting actually. Like an experience kind of thing. Like those fun houses with the mirrors. You walk around and you can look at yourself.
Yep. I mean, definitely would be cool to walk around and look at it. And then also, like the video that they have where everything's kind of like 3D animated on Aavegotchi on Twitter, I thought that was pretty dope too. And so having like a VR, just little VR games like that would be dope too.
Yeah, and then like when meetings, when meetings in the Gotchiverse, right? You gotta have a business meeting, so you go to a parcel to have your
So
business meeting.
you guys could all go in as your gotchis and sit down at the round table. You know what I mean? And have the meeting of the gotchis in the VR and sit there and like more. I think it would like more link people to like being there, maybe more of a feel.
Yeah, you're inside your lodge, maybe. I'm curious to know what sort of furniture we're gonna be able to put in our lodge. Like, are we gonna have to burn glitter to buy the furniture? Or like, are we gonna have to actually create the furniture, like crafting, or like? I know you said there might not be NFTs, but they'll be like just displayable things you can move around and whatnot. I'm trying to figure out like what those, I guess, I don't know if they're called installations, but what those pieces of furniture would look like inside of a lodge, you know?
Yeah, for the lodge, the idea is that the lodge and like levels of the lodge will come with like new, cooler things to equip in it that you won't have to necessarily like buy, but there'll still be some special items that you can buy for your lodge and equip it in there. None of that is on chain though. It's all kind of on server side because a lodge itself is not on chain. And yeah, I think we'll definitely have some user generated things as well. That so you could buy the NFT, and it would be in your wallet, but that would give you the access basically to add the thing in your lodge.
Yeah, that could make for some really interesting like displays, you know, for people who are especially like artists or collect a lot of art, you know, to display that inside their like a little art gallery or something, you know. And then maybe there could be like events, like maybe there's like a Christmas event and you can get a Christmas tree if you complete a quest. You can put that in your lodge too.
Yeah.
420 event. Get me a nice freaking big weed tree.
Oh yes,
Oh,
and
yeah.
then the decorations raffle. That's going to be interesting to see what people do with those decorations. You know, I wonder if someone's going to buy like a hundred GM signs and just make a GM fence around their parcel. Just a bunch of GM signs going.
That's what I was talking about. Just surround your whole parcel with these expensive NFTs. But yeah.
I mean, that's a
Do you
whole
guys
nother
think it'll
level,
be?
right?
Do you guys think it'll be harder to like kind of pull your money back off of the parcel once you put all that stuff on there? Since obviously it's going to be worth so much money. I mean, just like kind of like the spacious have not really increased too much, but the more inexpensive ones have increased because those are where people can come in at.
I think the parcels are gonna there's gonna be deals, right? Like people were picking up parcels on the bazaar with the golden tile installed, so that was a little extra value added. I kind of compare it to like in the early days of the bazaar, you buy a gotchi and you might not be able to see what was in the gotchi's pocket, so you'd buy the gotchi and you'd end up sometimes there'd be like an item or two in there that you didn't know about. It'd be a little extra value added to the gotchi. But then now
Yeah.
you can see all the items in the pocket, so that got priced in.
I saw a guy, he bought a humble parcel and it came with a golden tile.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's a
like things
little
like that.
less liquid, but definitely makes your parcel more unique and
Are
potentially
you,
more valuable on the aggregate.
are you able to
Right.
see that tile when you buy it? Is that one of the things that pops up or?
Not currently. The bazaar is not really showing that yet. I mean, you could go to the parcel in the game. It's a little bit tricky. You'd have to find it. So really, there's not a great visualization for it yet. We're going to be adding that to the bazaar.
I've been kind of having two maps open, kind of where I got like I can browse the actual Citadel map to where I can kind of see exactly where I'm at inside of the actual Citadel, where I'm at, where I'm going, where everything is. Little like
Yeah.
kind of just zoom in and out of that.
Imagine if it came with a golden altar. Oh,
Oh, that would be great.
Has
That'd be a
anybody
big win.
What's the highest upgraded altar so far? The golden altar.
Oh, good question. We do have a new subgraph that has a lot of information on it. For any of the devs out there, if you guys want to jump into some of the data, let's see. Let's see if we can. We should be able to see the highest level of an altar. Let's see here. Very, very cool subgraph. It's got all the different events on chain.
And I know you guys were talking about how you can like open up the ability to channel on the land, and then that kind of is transferred to the next purchase of the land, so they wouldn't know that it was open.
Yeah.
But I was kind of trying to get work with No Future to have him do my estates and everything, and I was kind of just waiting for a nice UI to open up for that. I was just wondering how long that might be.
For like building on it, letting other people build on it.
Well, not just building, but like say I got my gotchis, and obviously they can channel on the property that is, but what about my extra properties? Is he able to rent a gotchi and then channel on that property for me yet?
If you update it on Looper Dev, he could. We're going to be adding that UI next week. It's basically ready to go. It just needs some final testing.
I'll just wait for that.
It's pretty easy to do on Looper Dev. Basically, you just get all the IDs separated by commas of your parcels, and just paste them in.
It's definitely a lot of work to do the channeling and then the rentals, and then like No Future, he does multiple rentals a day. I just don't even know, like that's insane to have to do that over and over again with that many gotchis. Me, I just do like a full 22 hours, depending. Leave myself a little room before I gotta channel again.
Well,
Yeah.
No Future's using Gotchilending.com. I think that's been a huge help for that 5 die that you pay.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, he was telling me about that too. There's a lot of cool things on that. Now, why that's not up in there? Like when I go in and I see all the other connections, is that something that's going to be added in there?
You mean in the tools page?
Yeah, yep.
Yeah, we should probably. I don't think we've added that to the tools page yet, but definitely should.
Yeah, I went looking for it and then I didn't find it, so I kind of I don't like clicking on stuff that might not be legit. So.
Right. Yeah.
Yep, you never know. There's so many hacks and there's so much security breaches everywhere. I think security is key with everything. And like I was talking on, Twitter, kind of like how everything's going to be built within, a multi-bubble structure instead of things having to jump from, structure to structure,
Mm-hmm.
like Vitalik was saying about just a multi ecosystem. What do you guys think about that?
I didn't listen to that specific talk, but like basically having levels of like trusted environments and then building things within those trusted environments.
Yeah, basically, security kind of gets way more, not secure when you have to jump from using bridges, and when there's no bridge, when everything's interconnected, kind of like a multi-bubble. You know what I mean? That can, add any kind of a bubble at once, kind of like Aavegotchi would be a bubble on top of Polygon, and kind of eventually might become its own thing. You see what I mean?
Yeah, this is why I love the blockchain, and I love developing on the blockchain because you have this level of like this trusted settlement layer where you can do all sorts of fun things on top of it, and everyone can kind of be interoperable with you.
Yeah.
So
Yep. And it's the same thing with kind of like the game, everything's going to be interoperable inside of the Aavegotchi, kind of like a multi-bubble. It'll be all interlinked, but it'll eventually maybe be a little separate too, right? But it'll still be linked.
Yep.
So
Yeah,
do
the
you
big
guys
challenge
think?
with the Gotchiverse right now, I'm waiting. I mean, one day blockchain technology is going to get to a point where it's going to have fast enough settlement that we could have the entire Gotchiverse running on a blockchain. Unfortunately, we're not even really near that point yet, is from what I've seen. But one day that's the goal, to have as much as possible on a blockchain rather than
Well,
having it on like traditional Web 2 architecture.
with basically Ethereum upgrading to 2.0 and sharding, that's not just going to increase Ethereum, that'll also increase Polygon speed. You know what I mean? So I mean, we'll have a 64 times exponential increase of what we can do in the future, and then we'll also have the increase of the multi-level two or layer twos that Polygon has created, and those will be obviously upgradable as well and kind of expandable. And like you said, it might be sooner than you guys think for that speed to really be here, because I mean, with competition comes people advancing very quickly.
Yeah. There's a lot of happening, even just within the Matic ecosystem. There's a lot happening. I mean,
Well, yeah, I mean,
yeah.
Hey guys,
Golden
not
Cross
to
is
interrupt.
something in the chat.
It's kind of taco time in my time zone right now. I'm gonna grab some lunch. Appreciate all you guys, everything you do. Love you all. Have a good day.
Yeah, man. Thanks.
Take
Yeah,
care,
I'm probably
friend.
gonna get off too. It's about midnight for
I
me
want
here.
some tacos.
Yeah, okay. It was great hanging out. I think there was a lot of alpha that was released, including Golden Cross here in the chat says, did we mention anyone can build around these NFTs? Maybe a Gnomes mini game. So yeah, if these can be used as in-game assets, I think that's gonna be interesting to see. So it was good hanging out today. There was some alpha. I'll be releasing an article on Substack for you, those of you who are subscribed or following. You'll get an email of just a little hangout summary. Tell your
Nice.
friends, share it with them.
Where you want to drop the link to the Substack?
Yeah, for sure. Let me grab that.
Nice, sounds good. One quick question, Dan, before you bail. Was there a rough timeline for harvesters and that sort of thing? Is it over the next month or something, or it just depends on builds and bug squashing and all that type of thing?
We're still kind of doing the final specs for the release and talking to the devs, making sure that we have a deadline that we can basically be confident in reaching. So we'll update the community once we have a good solid roadmap for that. But it's not gonna be very long. Like we're probably looking at a month, 2 months tops, and that's
Yeah.
a little. I think a month and change would be about right.
Yeah, we'll have some big meetings early the front of next week, and probably a proper project kickoff. So we'll be on our way here with some clarity very soon.
Yeah, nice. Look, very smart not to jump the gun, release anything that's gonna, trip up and all that sort of thing. So yeah, it's smart to slowly build and get shiz right. So well played.
Yep.
I'm sure some people want it quick. Some people, don't understand software and how it develops and so forth. But yeah, well played, man. Double thumbs up for me.
Yeah, definitely. I can't wait to be in a bot assassin though. So if you guys just want to turn my hearts on, I'll be in the verse all day long.
It's a great responsibility there.
I'll be there with you. I got your back.
With great power comes great responsibility. I'll make sure that I only kill the ones that run into the wall and don't move for a minute, Can tell they're bots, and then I chase them down and kill them.
Yeah,
That's
start with the most obvious ones.
Yes. It could
Hefe, I see you
definitely
dropped
get
the
very,
link.
skewed though, and people start killing regular people.
Don't let the power go to your head.
The Discord blowing up.
All right, guys. I'm gonna head out here. Later. Have a good one.
Yep. Good night.
Peace,
Right.
everybody.
Hey, great talking. You guys have a great day.
Cool. Later, everyone. Take it easy.
All right. See you tomorrow for the Dow call.
Yeah,
Yes,
I was just
sir.
gonna say that. Make sure you guys go to the Dow call tomorrow morning if you want to find out more about what we're talking about with proposals and whatnot. Big brain conversations there. That's at 2 p.m. UTC, just like it is, this morning. And then also we have a Gotchi space tomorrow night. I'll be back. I'll be hanging out there. That is at 7 p.m. Eastern tomorrow. So look forward to seeing you guys there. Check out the Substack article. I have a summary up from today later. And yeah, that's all I got. If you guys got anything, go ahead. But yeah, that's all I got for this weekend.
Nope, that's it. Everybody have a good weekend. I'll see you
Okay.
tomorrow.
Have a
Enjoy
good
Memorial
weekend, y'all.
Ciao, ciao. See you later.